and the acting Limpopo Regional Manager of NYDA, Mr. Maepa. I wish to welcome all of you and also extend my sincere gratitude to all of you present, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mlungi Sicele, so I've been asked to facilitate this session, which I hope, with your cooperation, we'll be able to make up some time and make sure that we finish the program as stated before 2. So let us stand and sing the national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. Minister MEC, I've been requested to humbly request you to join the podium where you'll be able to make your opening remarks. All of them. So even your leadership. Councillor Mamabulo to come and welcome us on behalf of the Executive Mayor of Polokwane, a local municipality. Let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Dr. Mlungi Sicele. As they've already indicated, my name is Trevele Jerima Mabolo, Comrade Kadzienzu. As Comrade Maspala put it there correctly, let me take this opportunity, the Honorable, the Minister of Science and Innovation, Minister Professor Blade Nzimande, Popo in absentia, but ably represented by MEC for Health, Ms. Dieke, the Chair per STI portfolio in a holy province of Limpopo. On behalf of the people of Polokwane Municipality, I take this moment with immense pride and great anticipation to welcome all of you to the City of Stars, a city committed to transformation, innovation, and inclusive growth. It is indeed a great honor to be part of this gathering, hosted here at the University of Limpopo, a cornerstone of intellectual pursuit and research excellence in our province. This university, Honorable Minister, produced a lot of stars and continues to produce stars. And I know for sure that even the president of this country once schooled or studied in this university. We appreciate the work done by Professor Matlomo Khalong and his team to ensure that they keep on transforming the lives of black people in particular and Africans in general through education that they are providing on daily basis in ensuring that the lives of our people changes for the better. Honorable Minister, today's engagement is a vital platform, a bridge for connecting knowledge producers, policymakers, youth and grassroots innovators under one roof. The discussion we will have throughout this day speak directly to the future of our municipality, our province, and our country. We are particularly pleased that today's focus includes student funding, mentorship, and career development. Three essential pillars that must be firmly in place if we are to break the cycles of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. As Polokwane Municipality, we stand ready to support collaborative efforts that place young people at the center of innovation ecosystem. As a city striving to become a smart and sustainable metropolis, we are clear that science, technology, you see, talking using your phone, somebody just decides to call and that person might be here so that he deliberately disturbs me. As I was saying, Honorable Minister, the three essential pillars that must be firmly in place if we are able to break the cycle of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. As Polokwane Municipality, we stand ready to support the collaborative effort that places young people at the center of innovation ecosystem. As a city striving to become a metropolis, we are clear that science, technology, and innovation must underpin our developmental trajectory, from how we deliver services to how we empower communities through access to digital tools and data-driven solutions. Honorable Minister, as the City of Stars, our presence here today affirms a shared vision to unlock the potential that lies in rural minds and grassroots ingenuity. We look forward to the deliberations that will arise from today's panels, especially those focusing on the grassroots innovation program, because this is where transformation must begin with our people in our community and in our communities at the bottom. In closing, Honorable Minister, allow me to reiterate that Polokwane Municipality remains a willing and active partner in the journey towards an innovative, knowledge-based and inclusive economy. We thank you, Honorable Minister, for choosing the city of Polokwane, Limpopo Province and Mankweng in particular to host this August event that is aimed at empowering young people with knowledge, but aimed at intensifying the level of innovation that we are expecting the results that our people at the end of the day will be empowered, our people at the end of the day will be better. The one who came here today will not leave the same as he came in. We will all leave having grabbed something to take home. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the city of Polokwane, welcome to the city of stars. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you are inspired to hear such a young, brilliant leadership intervening. And Minister, I'm quite pleased that the City of Stars, the holy city, has embraced science, technology, and innovation. And Dr. Msiwa, you really have a partner. So our program on grassroots innovation really has the potential to thrive here. Let me then invite, let me invite rather the acting Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Innovation and Partnerships, Professor Mtiba, to outline the purpose of the session. Let's welcome your DVC. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, esteemed guests, dignitaries, which include the following: our own Honorable Professor Bladin Nzimande, Minister of Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, Ms. Tsakani Shiviti, Chairperson, Science, Technology and Innovation Portfolio Committee, as indicated that she's not around. MEC of Health, Limpopo Province, Ms. Mashiro. MMMC of Polokwane Municipality, Tebele Mamabulo. Director General, who is the chair of the session, Dr. Kele. And Mr. Mosco Maipa, Acting Limpopo Regional Manager, National Youth Development Agency. Young leaders who are here today, students and all participants of this session. It is my honor on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Limpopo, Professor Mahlo Mokgalong, and his executive to formally present the purpose of this day as we host this landmark DSTI Ministerial G20 Youth Outreach Program and Dialogue during this significant time in our national calendar, Youth Month. This day marks not just a celebration of the resilience, bravery, and enduring spirit of South Africans' youth, but also a call to action, as colleagues have already indicated. It is a moment for reflection and for recommitting ourselves to building an inclusive future that fully harnesses the potential of young people, particularly through education, science, technology, and innovation. The theme for today, advancing inclusive growth for young people through science, technology, and innovation, aligns closely with our university's motto of finding solutions for Africa. It also resonates with our deep commitment to expanding access to quality higher education, fostering innovation, and ensuring that young people, especially those in townships and rural areas, are not left behind in the knowledge economy. We had a short discussion with the Honorable Minister, who really wants to see this improves. The purpose of today's gathering is threefold. One, to create a dynamic platform for engagement between government, academia, industry, and youth across Limpopo, including learners, students, graduates, needs. Needs means young people who is no longer in the education system and who is not working or being trained for work, and grassroots innovators. This is a platform or space where future scientists meet seasoned engineers, where young entrepreneurs present innovations to ministers, as you have seen the tables outside, where, for example, a grade 11 learner from Mamabulo can ask a question to the chairperson of the STI portfolio committee or a minister. And I think this is a great opportunity for these children. A practical example is today's panel dialogue involving youth innovators who have created mobile water filtration devices from a recyclable material right here in Limpopo, and are now being mentored by researchers at the University of Limpopo. Another is the mobile app showcased today by a TVET graduate that connects small-scale farmers to energy-efficient cold storage networks. The purpose is not just to speak, but to be heard, to be engaged, to be encouraged, and to be linked to real people who can help real dreams take flight. As the late President Nelson Mandela once said, I quote, "History will judge us by the difference we make in the everyday lives of children," close quote. Today is about creating those bridges between promise and possibility, between challenge and change. Secondly, today's gathering also aims to raise awareness and open access to opportunities in science, technology, and innovation, and to collectively explore how we can position STI at the center of youth development, inclusive growth, and economic transformation. We know the future belongs to those who innovate. Today's dialogue is anchored on the belief that STI is not only for laboratories and boardrooms, but also for our communities, villages, and schools. This gathering aims to showcase funding pathways, training programs, internships, and entrepreneurship support that already exists within DSTI and its entities, such, for instance, how many young people in the rural Limpopo now know that you can receive seed funding for a bioenergy project through the Green Youth Indaba program, or that there is a Women in Science program that supports girls to pursue PhDs in data science and clean technology. To quote our own Honorable Minister Blade Nzimande, who is present today, he once said, I quote, "We cannot build a capable developmental state if young people are not equipped to lead it technically, ethically, and intellectually," close quote. So today is about awareness, but also about accessibility, about removing the barriers that prevent gifted minds from entering the gates of opportunities. Lastly, today's gathering also aims to inspire and empower young people by showcasing pathways to careers, entrepreneurship, and leadership within the STI ecosystem, and to ensure that those pathways are accessible, equitable, and impactful. There is a young person in this audience who has never heard someone say, "You belong in science." There is another who has never imagined themselves as CEO of a clean energy company. Today, we say to you, you belong. We are joined by young entrepreneurs who have turned coding boot camps into tech startups, and graduates who now lead green hydrogen research projects that will shape our energy's future. We are proud to share the story of the University of Limpopo alumnus who, with support from the DSI, developed an affordable diagnostic tool for waterborne disease, now being piloted in the 4 Limpopo district. Another student-led project uses drones to monitor soil conditions, blending indigenous knowledge system with modern geospatial science. These are not just inspiring, be next. That let today we invest in young people and give them the tools of science, technology. We are investing in the future of our nation. Thank you, and may this day be a catalyst for change, growth, and hope. And thank you, Minister, for choosing University of Limpopo.
Thank you very much, DVC. I think we are all clear about why we are gathering here. There's a colleague, he said his comrade Maspala. Yeah, I was just watching you as the DVC was speaking. Whether you were able to pick up one or two things that the DVC said was being done here in the province. As part of, because this is also helping us to appreciate that which is being done, which is not adequate, but also it's
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me, Secretary Dr. Blade Nzimande, Portfolio Chairperson in her absentia, DSG Zakani Chivit, and Acting Premier today, Comrade MEC Deketseng Mashego, Deputy Mayor Polokwane Municipality, Comrade MMC Councillor Jerry the Cat, Mama Bolo. It is a great honor for me to extend this message of support on behalf of the National Youth Development Agency, NYD in Limpopo. As we join the University of Limpopo and the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation in advancing of knowledge, innovation and opportunity for young people. Science and technology and innovation is not only key drivers of economic growth and job creation, they are a powerful tool in transforming the lives and building a sustainable communities. As the NYDA, we're inspired by the University of Limpopo's continued commitment in creating platforms that empower youth with critical skills and exposure, more so into the fourth industrial revolution and beyond. This program aligns perfectly with our mandate to support youth development, entrepreneurship, and innovation. We firmly believe that young people of Limpopo have the talent, creativity, resilience to become global leaders in scientific research, technological innovation, and digital enterprise. If it's given the right support and opportunity, it could go far. To young people and the young minds that will be participating in today's program, embrace the moment, ask the difficult questions, explore those bold ideas, and believe in your own capacity to resolve real-world challenges. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. We reaffirm our commitment to working closely with academic institutions, government partners, private stakeholders to ensure that no young person is left behind with our economical growth. Let us continue to collaborate, innovate, invest in the future, because the success of the youth is the success of a nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Moscow. Let me then invite the MEC, Mashego, to give us a message of support on behalf of the Premier.
Thanks very much, Program Director, Dr. Kele, the Honorable Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Prof. Nzimande, the Acting EM of Polokwane, Councillor Mamabolo, Deputy Vice Chancellors present here with us, and academic leadership of the University of Limpopo, NYDA Acting Limpopo Regional Manager, Mr. Moscow Maepa, young innovators, learners, students, entrepreneurs, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is an honor for me to be here today representing our Honorable Premier, Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, who couldn't be with us today because of other engagement, but she did say that I must say to you that she really would have loved to be here with us, Honorable Minister. So I am here on her behalf. Science, technology, and innovation, these are not just concepts confined to laboratories or research or journals. They are the very instruments through which nations lift themselves from the burdens of poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment into the promise of shared prosperity and global relevance. History has shown us that countries that dared to dream scientifically, those that prioritized technological advancement and invested in innovation, are the very countries that today shape the world. South Africa must not be an exception. We must be part that Yani or in the township of Seshego. That vision begins with gatherings such as today, where knowledge meets inspiration and policy meets potential. Program Director, today we are here under the noble theme, Advancing Inclusive Growth for Young People Through Science, Technology and Innovation. What a fitting reminder that the future of this country depends on our ability to invest in our young people, to train them, to listen to them, to empower them. It is not enough to simply talk about young people as leaders of tomorrow. We must make sure they are equipped with the skills, tools, and access to shape the decisions of today. This outreach program is a call to action. It is about placing young people at the center of the national science and innovation agenda. We cannot afford to leave our youth behind, especially those in our rural areas, informal settlements and townships where brilliance exists but opportunity is often absent. Their voices must echo in our boardrooms, in laboratories, in coding hubs, and in the policy chambers where decisions about their future are made. Program Director, let us be clear. If we are to successfully navigate the 4th industrial revolution, tackle climate change, create jobs in new industries, and solve our healthcare and energy crisis, it will be through the ingenuity of our youth. Our responsibility as government leaders, educators, and policymakers is to open the doors and provide platforms. The rest the youth will do. We want to particularly commend the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation for designing this outreach with inclusivity in mind, by engaging not only university students, but also youth, those not in education, employment or training, as well as youth with disabilities, young SMMEs, owners, and high school learners. We are saying there is space for all of you in the South Africa's innovation ecosystem. We are guided by the new mantra of the department, placing science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, education, industry, and society. That is the only way we can meaningfully address challenges facing people, young people today, from the mental health toll brought on by the pandemic of exclusionary practices of research funding and enterprise support, to the underrepresentation of young people in critical STEM careers. Our province cannot thrive unless our youth thrive. And our youth cannot thrive unless they are equipped and included. We are excited that this outreach will host panel of grassroots innovation, mentoring and career progression and research funding and opportunities. These are not just discussions, they are life-shaping engagements. I urge all young people in attendance to listen attentively, to ask difficult questions, and to make this moment count. This is your time. We know that disadvantaged communities often lack access to resources, mentorship, and opportunities. That is why we must be intentional about reaching them. In Limpopo, we are ready to work with the department and its partners to host more innovation hubs, science exhibitions, mobile tech labs, and coding boot camps in rural villages where talent lies untapped. In our youth to our youth entrepreneurs, the province is aware of your struggles. Whether you are building apps, making fashion from recycled plastics, or developing agri-tech solutions, we must support you with seed funding, training, and access to markets. The DSTI's continued partnership with NYDA, TVET, colleges, and local industry players is the kind of cross-sector collaboration we need more. Let us leave this gathering not just inspired, but activated. Let us go back to our communities and start science clubs. Let us form youth innovation forums. Let us apply for that research grant, attend that coding class, register that patent. To the young girl from Ramphahlele who dreams of being a roboticist, to the young boy in Butlokwa building drones out of scrap, your province sees you, your government supports you, and your future is valid. To the adults in the room, let us support our youth, not with pity, but with policy, not with promises, but with programs. In closing, I want to leave you with this challenge. Don't wait for the future, create it. Let your ideas be so bold, your innovation so brilliant that the world can't help but pay attention. May this Ministerial G20 Youth Outreach Program mark the beginning of a new era in South Africa, one where no young person is left behind in science, in technology, or in innovation. And Honorable Minister, we want to thank you for hosting this important outreach in our province, the beautiful province of Limpopo. We have seen your work, we appreciate your work, we appreciate your support, and we are saying together, let us ignite a youth-led innovation revolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC, for such an inspirational talk. Minister, let me invite you to take the podium and talk to your people as well. I was just tempted because I see youngsters here, the little ones, you know. Those of us, by the way, who grew up under apartheid, we used to recite a lot. So there is a message that the MEC was saying about the future, you know. Do you remember what did she say? Let's not wait for the future, let's create it now. You know, I would have asked you to sing it. Minister, please, let's give the minister a round of applause.
Thank you very much, DG, Dr. Cele. The reason why I'm doing this is because there is lots of discrimination in this country, which takes many forms. I always say to people, don't say it's discrimination against short people. We take offense in that. Put it as discrimination against people who are not so tall. Thank you very much, Program Director, our DG. Let me also greet MEC for Health, Mema Shiko, who is standing in here for the Premier, Dr. Popi Ramatuba, as she has said. Let me also greet MMC Tebele Mamabulu, who is also here on behalf of the Mayor. We appreciate your presence. Let me also greet Professor Tebogo Mutiba, the Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Innovation and Partnerships here at the University of Limpopo. Let me also greet the Acting Regional Manager of the NYDA, Mr. Mosco Miapa. Let me also greet all the executives who are here from the university, all other distinguished members of this wonderful institution, senior government leaders, traditional leaders, youth and civil organizations. Let me also greet and thank our panelists for making this very lively and more relevant, especially to the audience that we are targeting. Stakeholders also from the the rest of our continent, African continent. Let me greet the students and learners and say thank you very much for making time to be here, because all this is largely about you, as the MEC has so eloquently put it. And I like what she said, as you were underlining, DG. Don't wait for the future. Create it so that you make it what you want it to be. Most importantly, the young of South Africa and the young of our continent as a whole. Our dialogue takes place in the month in which we as a country pay tribute to the gallant generation of young people who led the epoch-shaping student uprisings of June 1976 here in Africa. We've deliberately tied this to the G20, as you can see the flags. The G20 is made up of the most developed countries in the world, as well as less developed countries, but that are seen as playing a very important role in the political economy of the world. And they represent more than 70% of the world's population, these countries that are part of the G20. We are hosting the G20 as South Africa. We are president. It's going to be held, the Leaders Summit in November. Is the first time that the G20 is being held on the African continent. We felt as government, yeah, Shayan is hand, Maso. We feel that as government, this must not just be limited to the union buildings or to government offices, but generally our people must feel to be part of this. And we brought it deliberately here to the University of Limpopo, which is a relatively rural university, where also you have got some of the poorest students who attend here, so that you can also then, as this university, be part of this. That's why I would like to thank the Vice-Chancellor for allowing us to actually come and bring this G20 event to this university. Of course, today, by the way, is our original Freedom Day. In case we're forgotten, 26th of June is exactly, 26th of June 2025 is exactly 70 days since the adoption of the Freedom Charter. It was adopted on this day in 1955. So it's a very important day. And one of the most well-known slogans of the Freedom Charter is that the doors of learning and culture shall be opened. We are contributing to that today, that we want to ensure not only that the doors of learning and culture are open, but that especially our young people are aware that the doors are open. Because we can talk about it, but they may not see that they are open. So we hope that, especially to our youth, today you will be able, as was said by one of the panelists, go and find the institutions and the opportunities, yes, because they are there. In fact, it was said by more than one panelist. I really like that. And also what I like is that those who are younger than us, okay, sometimes we call them the older youth, they are the ones who talk to young people, because sometimes when we speak, it's, what else is he going to say, other than to squeal, and do all sorts of things. So if it's said by people like yourselves who are working with young people, we work with them too. But also it makes a difference. We really appreciate that. Now, let me answer one question that security. There are people who are very eloquent in just mentioning problems. What about this problem? What are you saying about that problem? And this also, there is shortage of that. There is this and that. Always when you hear some people, then ask them, what do you think we should do to actually address the very same problems that you are? I wish our young people could have this mindset and not be masters of complaining and lamenting. We are not saying we mustn't point out problems, but what are the solutions? We are a water-scarce country. How do we address that? That's where innovation, science and innovation comes in to say, can we develop technologies to grow food where there isn't enough water for agriculture? I'm sure there are. Maybe I'm planting this now in your own mind. We've had a problem of load shedding. We must solve. We must come up with a solution that we actually do not have load shedding. That's what science also helps. Science is about solving problems facing humanity. And it requires that mindset. Even politics, by the way, Comrade MMC, we require people who are solution-oriented. Not those who are so eloquent in lamenting. Lamenting and crying. There is nothing I'm impatient about as that. Yes, mention those problems and then say, I'm making an example, Comrade Maspala. As Comrade Maspala though, however, having outlined these problems, here is what I think needs to be done. So it's a mindset. that we need. There's a simple way of explaining science. All these problems I'm talking about. You know, as we are having these problems in the world today, by the way, science also can be used in dangerous ways. The genocide in Gaza that is being waged by the Israeli apartheid government, they use artificial intelligence to trace their enemies. That's how they are able to kill and target scientists in Iran. Particular scientists who are in the nuclear space. Or generals, army generals. How do you hit an army general sitting at home with his family in this instance? They use artificial intelligence. So part of the struggle we have is that we need to use science to solve problems rather than to use science to kill people. That's another struggle we have that we actually need to deal with. There are exciting opportunities that have opened. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, 3D printing, robotics, automation, self-driving vehicles, by the way. These days, biotechnology, gene editing. I am told that artificial intelligence is going to contribute by 2030 20 trillion US dollars into the world economy. Now I want to say to our business people, where will you be? I want to say to our young people, where will you be? As South Africa, we want a slice of that 20 trillion rands in order to create jobs in South Africa, in order to develop a modern South Africa. These technologies present us with unique opportunities for meaningful social transformation and building a more just and equitable world. One of the critical tasks facing our continent is to empower our youth so that they are not just consumers of technologies, but themselves become innovators and producers of new knowledge. We want new knowledge that's going to come out of our country, and we are quite capable of that. We're very gifted, by the way, a bright nation on all fronts. From music, look at Amapiano now. They are celebrated all over the world. That's South African innovation in the arts and the music field. But we are also gifted in a number of other areas. When COVID-19 started, the first variant type of COVID-19, other than the one we had at the time, was identified by South African scientists. Very important. Now, Comrade Maspala, you raise an important question. I was a little bit disturbed that you were now addressing me instead of the panel. But that's okay, because I wanted the panel to be able to respond to this. We are aware, we have done a lot as South Africa, by the way, in the area of education and in the area of science and technology. But we are aware it's not enough. We are not going to deny that. As the department, we've got some programs. Prof, what is the school where we were donating a container of computers? Mloke. Mloke. Primary school, this little we can do as a department. We take a container and convert it into a computer room with about 20 seats where young primary school kids can come and learn about computers, but also about some of these technologies that we are talking about. A rural primary school, and we left it there to be used with Wi-Fi. They can also talk to their colleagues in America, in South America, everywhere else in the world. And I have no doubt that in that primary school where we left that technology, you're going to produce scientists. I have no doubt about that. We need, however, to do more. Because that is why our mantra, I am glad, MEC, that you spoke about our mantra when we say, we want to place science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, Because government as a whole must embrace science, technology, innovation. I always make this example, a simple one. I'm making it because I was Minister of Higher Education. If you apply for a job in the Department of Higher Education and Training as a director, you go to a police station to certify your certificate. Okay? I've got a BSc degree, it gets certified, you queue to come and bring that information to the department that already has that information. It's the Department of Higher Education that has that information. It's their universities. Why should you go and waste time, go to a police station and do this archaic thing with a piece of paper? Instead of the Department of Science and the Department of Higher Education, when you say you have a BSc, they should press a button which will show you whether you have that BSc or not. Or applying to any department for that matter. There is nothing that irritates me like this thing of certifying certificates. It drives me absolutely crazy. It's a waste of energy, waste of time, often waste of money. A youngster from deep in the rural areas having to come to Polokwane, spend maybe 60 or 100 rand to come and certify a certificate, to apply, to get proof on something that is in the hands of government in any case. So those are just simple examples why our mantra says we must place science, technology, and innovation at the center of government, at the center of education. Because we want our youngsters to start very young, like the computer lab I'm talking about. And at the center of industry, because the private sector must be partnered, and at the center of society as a whole. I heard someone talking about using a broom, but not use it at night. You know? I know exactly what you are talking about here in Limpopo. Because also I come from a province which has a place called Umhlabuyalingan, where I'm told there is this science, you know, of that you can actually do anything you want. Bad things often. Now, so this is just making simple examples about the need for innovation. By the way, do you know the creepy crawly that cleans swimming pools? It's all over the world. It's a South African innovation. It was found here. And that's the thing which is still being used all over the world. We've got many other innovations. By the way, I don't know which schools you are coming from, because what we must also do, our books on South African innovations must be sent to these schools to go to the libraries. I don't know whether the University of Limpopo does have these books, because if it doesn't, we must leave them behind so that they're in the library, so that you get insight of what we are capable of doing. We have to unlock Africa's potential. Let me put this simply. Sompisa, I know you're going to say you didn't sleep drafting this speech. Now I'm doing shortcuts. I'm not doing shortcuts. I'm trying to also just simplify some of the things that we are saying here. More than 60% of the African population is under 25, 35. So we are young, youth, we are a youthful population, continent. If we can empower this youth with technology, with education, their contribution not only to this continent, to the rest of the world, will be enormous, huge. By the way, they don't have to go to other continents in order to be able to make a contribution. They can innovate where they are, but produce things that are going to contribute to global knowledge. So that's why we say we are holding this G20 presidents on behalf of Africa as a whole, not just South Africa. Because our continent has got enormous problems. It is also worth mentioning that young people are already shaping the world. I'm glad, MEC, that as a province, we have got a program to support startups. If a young person comes up with an app, you support that, because we need to multiply and grow those things. Out of that, you can get big business from a youngster from Polokwane, Mankweng, who comes up with an app that is helping us to solve many problems. I was in China. Some of the cars I saw in China are amazing. As you say, who was saying, by the way, that the future is already here? I realized that. You know, I get into my car now in Zambia, it's like a cake, it's like I'm driving a Middle Ages car in terms of the technology that I saw in China. No matter where you are, you read here how long the robot is going to be open for. If it is open, for how long is it going to be open before it closes? Here, even if your car is number 10 from the robot. And also it's self-driving. Now self-driving, it means the car can drive itself. You just punch and tell it where it is going to. Not the broom at night. A car. You know? A car. Now, I saw this future for myself. Many big companies now, BMW, VW, they say they are going to producing their cars in China because they want this technology from the Chinese. Why? Because the Chinese invested in science, technology, and innovation. They are now reaping the fruits. Now let me just, moving towards the end, just share with you some of the things that we are doing as the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation here in South Africa to support or to contribute to youth development within our own space. We recently contributed over 900 million rands into what is known as the Innovation Fund, which is aimed at supporting innovations. 900 million, almost a billion. To date, the fund has supported 96 South African startups, and 21.7% of the startups are led by young people under the age of 35. By the way, young people are very curious. They are very smart. They understand things very quickly. My grandchildren now laugh at me when I can't do something with my iPad. And say, but Mkulu, no, how come? Why are you having an iPad? And then they just press do this and that. And then I said, oh, I didn't know about that. Young people are very creative. We've also partnered with the African Union Development Agency called NEPAD, their regional centers of excellence, through an institute, African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, to implement a fully accredited Master of Science degree in artificial intelligence. That's what we are doing already. So, as you were saying, go and find these things. They are there. AIMS, this institution of mathematics, has also graduated more than 600 master's students since its inception, with nearly half being women. Many now hold positions as data scientists, university lecturers, research and development specialists in major technology firms or companies, driving innovation. Furthermore, since the first intake of students in 2003, AIMS has produced a total of 1,027 graduates from 41 African countries, 35% of whom are women. And we want to do more in terms of the number of women who are there. A total of 148 South African students have completed the program. 51% of AIMS graduates are employed in industry. Through NEPAD, as Science, Technology and Innovation flagship program, our department has empowered 1,200 young professionals, primarily in the Southern African region, with advanced science, technology, engineering, mathematics, education, and innovation leadership. In 2024, in collaboration with the National Empowerment Fund and the Climate Action Network South Africa, our department convened the National Empowerment Fund Africa Sustainable Development Goals Week, which focuses on youth-led innovations and their critical role in advancing sustainable development across the continent. Through the United Nations and the African Union Commission, we have also what is called African Girls Can Code initiative. Girls Can Code. Okay? And through that, we have introduced more than 150 young women and girls aged between 15 and 23 to the world of coding, with a special focus on artificial intelligence as a cornerstone of the curriculum. Because we want to say women can do it in any area. Now, when I talk about this, some men start swearing at me, even quietly. They don't say it, you know. Me, from age 12, I was brought up in a woman-headed household. Manje khona iy'ngane ngeke ngisho lento because they are youngsters, you see. Ubaba was still alive, but he left us. I'm not going to say where did he go to. Men know often what happens. When they leave, you come across him, no, he's now staying on the other side of town. I can feel he is alive. Now, I'm what I am because of my mother. And I call myself proudly, I am a mama's boy. Yes. Don't mistake that then for that I'm weak, you can just do things as you wish. No, but I'm proudly a mama's boy. You know, we grew up in a poor family. Not once did we sleep without food. We would only get food we like perhaps once a week on a Saturday. Umage would cook the best. But we never slept hungry even on the other days. And I don't know how she did it. Only women can do it, and women can feed and do anything that is done by any man. That is our on science programs, DG, so that we are able to move forward. Now, all these initiatives are just part of the initiatives. It's not all of the initiatives that we are doing. To conclude, the journey to transform Africa into a global innovation powerhouse requires the collective efforts of governments, private sector players, academia, development partners, and youth formation. By the way, we don't like this thing that science, technology, and innovation must just be a function of our department nationally. We want provincial governments to have science, technology, and innovation initiatives. Municipalities must have these, and our universities are very critical in supporting our municipalities and provinces to actually play this role. So it's very important. We need to set our continent on a radically different development trajectory. And this starts by jointly committing to the development of what I call a sovereign development agenda for Africa. Because our continent is poor, our agenda tends to be set by those who give us money. And what is the problem about that sometimes? They come and discover things here in our country, but then go and register those things in their own countries as their intellectual property. They steal it in our African continent every day. We must protect what is ours. Just to give you an idea, I'm told by the scientists that I work with that South Africa is top 5 in the world of being the most biodiverse country. The plants that we have are amazing, but we've only studied 5% of them. We haven't studied the other 95%. That's why we work with the herbalists. By the way, my father was a herbalist. When he passed away, I thought I'm done with herbalists. When I met with the herbalists one day addressing them, they were very impressed that I know all these tricks done by the herbalists. They say, "Are you one?" I said, "No, my father." But he didn't leave the bags with me. He left them with my elder brother. And I thought I was done. Now, boom, I'm deployed in the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. I have to work with the herbalists. You know why we work with the herbalists? Because we want to study some of the medicines and the herbs that they are using. Because, you know, China, they've got what is called traditional Chinese medicine. It's a big industry. There are hospitals that are just using almost exclusively traditional Chinese medicine. There is a lot that we can do. I've got sinuses, very bad sinuses. And my father used to give me something to sniff. You know, it was his own muchi. And that would make me sneeze worse. You know, when you have got sinuses, you sneeze a lot. I would then sneeze 10 times worse. But after half an hour, after 20 minutes, then I stopped sneezing, and my nostrils are as clear as anything. I wish now I'll go to my brother and say, "What is that muti?" Because I'll bring it now as Minister of Science and Technology to one of our laboratories and then say, "Check, maybe there is something new that we don't know that can actually deal with sinuses." We are doing a lot of work, by the way, in health innovation, MEC. I'm finishing. I'm proud to say we've developed our own vaccines now here to be able to deal with COVID-19 and other diseases like malaria that are facing the African continent. That's the achievement of our department. We are working very hard now. We've developed new technologies based on nuclear medicine to diagnose and treat. You know, cancer is our new pandemic now. I'm sure all of you sitting here, you know someone who has died of cancer. It's becoming a pandemic. We are investing into saying, how can we actually deal with this pandemic? Because science is nothing but pursuing solutions for problems facing humanity. So if you have been having a habit of complaining, Bantwana Bam, from today, dump that habit. Think and act scientifically. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Thank you very much, Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached, well, at least I've reached the end of my privilege here, Minister. I need to hand over to someone who's going to facilitate a panel discussion. They have up until 2 o'clock. Minister, may I then request you and the MEC and the MMC and the DVC to go back to your seat. This is the only time I can tell my bosses. Thank you. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And then invite the next panel to join, to come up to the stage and take over.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm sure everybody is a little bit tired now. And I can hear the little murmurs. I can hear you guys. I'm going to make it as exciting as I can. I do not have a lot of time. I initially had 45 minutes. Seemingly, I now have 23. But I have 6 panel members. If my panel members could please join me here at the front. If my panel members could please join me. I can see the officials here, but I do not see the innovators. Where are my 3 innovators? I can see 2 coming. I do not see Jabu. While I'm waiting for Ujabu to come forward, Madam, you. What was the question you asked again? Just tell me your name first as well. Yes, you, ma'am. Fast, mama.
So I am Mihlapi Matlagonolo Dipeto, and the question that I asked was, what are the available funding for entrepreneurship and innovation? Thank you.
This whole panel is to answer your question. The whole panel. And before I start, I want to teach us all to clap, because clapping can waste a lot of time. So, Matsoho. Maybe let's listen to me, Matsoho. Maybe let's listen to me. Matsoho. 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 Yivale. 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 My name is Tulile Kanyile. I am a scientist. I'm a lecturer at the University of the Witwatersrand at the medical school. And what this panel is going to talk about is community-based innovations, and we're going to talk about the support available for young people and people with disabilities, as well as women. I have a beautiful panel of people, very well balanced. I've got 3 government officials here who are going to talk to us about all of the infrastructure that's available. And then I've got 3 grassroots innovators. So these are people who have innovations that are funded by the Technology Innovation Agency. I am going to go straight into it and go to Dr. Tsepang Musia from the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, who is the Chief Director there for Innovation for Inclusive Development. Dr. Tsepang, please, what are the support instruments that are available within the department?
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to answer that question by illustrating 4 points. One, I think it's the theme of this particular event, and that's June is the Youth Month. That's very, very important. And also, I just want to explain the key focus areas for the department to drive what we call inclusion, innovation for inclusion. I'm going to explain what those 4 areas are, and I will conclude also by just talking about inclusive growth and innovation and mentioning the programs that the department has funded to drive inclusion and also to support young people who've got bright ideas that they want to take to the market. So very, very quickly, if I were to ask what does this month mean to you, you will agree with me, looking at the youth of 1976. At the center is social justice. It is about transformation, it is about inclusion, it's about creativity of young people. You will all agree with me if I say that. What does it mean to you? What is this whole month about? But if I had to explain the work that the department is doing in supporting young innovators and entrepreneurs, I have to mention that we don't talk of youth outside of people with disabilities. We also don't talk of youth in exclusion of young people who are innovating in townships and in the rural areas, the previously marginalized areas. So this is very, very important. Every time we approach programs, design programs for the department, we always think about the inclusion of people who have got disabilities and looking at those who may not have access to innovation infrastructure in townships and rural areas. And in the department, the program that we have in Innovation for Inclusive Development, it's about helping young innovators. If you've got an idea you want to take to the market, a very bright idea, we've got programs designed to do that. But how, as a country, are we going to address the challenge of unemployment? How are we going to address and achieve the aspiration of an inclusive growth? At the heart of whatever government is doing is innovation. So we are firmly convinced that at the heart of government's effort or departmental programs, it is innovation that will help us to achieve that inclusive growth. Now, in the decadal plan, just Google, the decadal plan is a departmental roadmap which sets the innovation agenda for the country. At the center of that decadal plan, we've identified about 4 catalytic areas where we feel if innovators or young people can participate and innovate in, will be able to drive this inclusion in their, and ensure their participation in the economy. These are, if we work on wide-hailing applications, including ICT and AI, I think the minister was mentioning that, we have to really support young people who are in that particular space. The other one is renewable energy. Renewable energy, as you know, around load shedding, it's a critical area where we could drive inclusion, and also new sources of growth, circular economy and circularity. Those are big areas where we could really make a change and create skills, create employment opportunities, support SMMEs, and ensure that the youth are able to participate in the economy. But also the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, very, very important. So in conclusion, we already know that there are young people who may be working on green transition or who may have an idea to solve the problem of crime. And the minister kept on saying we must be people who will try to solve something. We've got a number of them. Others are really looking at municipal infrastructure. So those young people are looking at municipal infrastructure, solving crime, green transition, and many other challenges that we have in society. We have designed programs for them. I'm joined by Dr. Musran from TIA to explain this program. We've got what we call the Grassroots Innovation Program, a very ambitious program. We're supporting a cohort of about 300 bright young entrepreneurs who have invented products. I think there's a few here today. I've seen someone also who was recruited. There she is. You can put up your hand. She was just appointed by TIA. She's being supported. We've got what we call Living Labs. We've got what we call Innovation for Local Economic Development. We even have programs for women in green technologies that we've just recently launched. And we've got technology for people with disabilities. This is a program designed to assist young innovators who are inventing assistive devices for people with disabilities, and a whole range of other instruments that we are having as a department. I'm not going to go into explaining those. We've funded them, and we are implementing them in partnership with TIA and other universities and other partners. So that is how we are responding as a department. But maybe one last thing to mention is the procurement of South African developed technologies. We call it a procurement of locally developed technologies. We've got an ambitious program. We call it the Technology Acquisition and Deployment Fund, which helps if you've got a product that you've developed and it's ready for use, we then take it and deploy it in municipalities and government departments so that they can begin to acquire such technologies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Musia. Matsogo? 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 Dr. Musia has landed us quite nicely, or segued us quite nicely to our next speaker, Dr. Anita Ramsuran, who is the General Manager at the Technology Innovation Agency. And she's going to talk to us specifically about this Grassroots Innovators program. But I also want us to actually define what a grassroots innovator is, Dr. Anita. So if we can define what that is, but also what the nature of the support is, and what the requirements are, and very importantly, where people can apply, where these young people that are sitting here can apply should they qualify for the Grassroots Innovations or Innovators program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Anita Ramsuran from the Technology Innovation Agency. I think before I actually explain the program, I think what's important to recognize is that innovation does not only sit in the university, Vice Chancellor, Acting Vice DVC, it doesn't only sit in the university. We have youngsters with brilliant ideas, 300 of them that we are currently supporting in the Grassroots Innovation Program, and we are supporting more than 1,000 other grassroots innovators through a network of living labs, an instrument of the department, as well as centers for higher education, centers for innovation and entrepreneurship. And many of the managers of the centers for innovation and entrepreneurship are actually in the audience. The Limpopo one, there are 5 of them. They are in the audience. They started off in our Grassroots Innovation Program. If you could just wave wherever you are seated, they are running centers in Limpopo. And these centers are looking at providing that creative, transformative space for innovators to come in and get support. So you were wondering where you need to get support. We can provide you with the network, where these centers are, where these living labs are, so that you would be able to access that. So what is a grassroots innovator? It's an innovator that we say works outside of formal systems. In other words, you may not have heard of the CSR, or you may not have heard of the department, but you have a brilliant idea that solves your existential challenges that you face on a daily basis. I also come from a very poverty-stricken background, and I understand the challenges that we go through. My job after school was to fill a drum of water, put into a smaller drum, wheel it with a wheelbarrow, and bring it home and heat it up. And I was only able to get to running water and electricity when I was in 3rd year university. But it is these challenges that push you forward to innovate. And a lot of the youngsters that we have here are like that. So it's somebody that's operating outside of the formal systems, but you do require the formal system to help you with your proof of concept, etc. So in the Grassroots Innovation Program, we support not only the innovation, we also support what we call the jockey. So we support the person behind the innovation, because it's very important that that's the person that drives the innovation. And we like to be a bit hands-off. We don't want to hold your hand too much, because we know that setting up a business and setting up a startup is hustling, and there's a lot of sleepless nights, and there's a lot of things that you need to go and get out there, right? And you need to just get the ecosystem that can support you, the community that can support you. So in terms of the package that we provide a 260,000 Rand package for a grassroots project, and many cases that's not enough funding for innovation, but it's a start, because what we've observed, it's a catalytic fund. Once you get into the program, we find other people, other organizations that we get into partnership with want to fund you. We found international partners that want to come into the program and want to fund. So we have lots of funding opportunities out there. What needs to do is just to give you a kickstart. And this Grassroots Innovation Program is that access funding, catalytic funding that actually gets you there. This 260,000 package involves technology development, and we generally advise you to go to our centers, our labs, and our technology stations. The university has an agro-processing technology station that you could utilize if you have an agro-processing solution. The university also has a digital lab that you could utilize. So it's mentoring, it's technical support, it's ideation, it's helping you to come up with the business model, it's helping you to get certification, because it's very important that the products that you come up with is certified, so that it is safe for the consumers, and it is safe for the country as well. I've just had a message from one of our grassroots innovators, and he's got a letter of intent from Petro SA to supply 200 million liters of biodiesel for Petro SA. And one of the questions I asked him, did you get to all the specifications that Petro SA wanted? And he says, yes, I'm working with a technology station at NMU, and they were helping me to deal with all the specifications. So I'm not going to take too much time, but how do you get hold of us? Through our website, through our social media page, Technology Innovation Agency, Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. You would get on to us. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Anita. And the minister wanted the young people who run the centers. I saw 4 hands there. If you guys could please stand up. The minister wanted me to ask you to stand up, please. There we go. Thank you.
These are the ones just in Limpopo. We have
These
many
are the
more.
ones just in Limpopo.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if I did have more time, because the concept of a living lab, gas lab, tech station is coming up quite a lot, and I'm not sure if we are aware what living labs are. Do we know what living labs are? Give me a thumbs up if you know what a living lab is. So if you don't know, do that for me. If you don't know what it is, I think we need to define it. What is that?
Okay, so a quick one. So a living lab has been set up in a local space, and it is meant to be an innovative space that is able to democratize innovation. In other words, make innovation accessible to all, not only to the ones in universities. But an interesting concept of a living lab is based on a methodology of co-creation. So when you come up with a solution, it's very important that the person you're developing the solution for, or the people you're developing the solution for, become part of the development of the solution. So there is co-creation that happens, and it's in the co-creation process, key stakeholders are brought into the process in order to be able to get a solution that is more acceptable, solution that can be better adopted.
So we're looking at more human-centered design. Are there instruments? If a person doesn't have instrumentation, are they able to go to a living lab and a tech station and build? Is that what we're saying? So you're going to get access to actually building your innovation, because a lot of the time people have ideas, but they don't have the resources. So you don't have the 3D printer. So if you go to a tech station, you'll then be able to build and get the resources to build. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Anita. Inclusivity, diversity, equity and inclusion, words that have come up quite a lot today. And I am going to now ask Mr. Nechiduni from the Department of Women, Youth and People with Disabilities, just to tell us what role the department plays in advancing diversity, equity and inclusion, particularly in the context of science, technology and innovation.
This mic is far.
Do you maybe want to just shift your chair back a little bit? I'll swap, yeah.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, moderator, and for the question asked, and without greeting anyone because of time. The department is very much engaged with the programs that are run largely by other departments and the sector itself, especially persons with disabilities themselves. The white paper on the rights of persons with disabilities mandates us as a department to look at the performances of other departments in terms of the implementation of the white paper policy directives. And in this process, we get to identify gaps that we need to be advising departments on. And obviously, here and there, we are going to find technology coming up. Recently, we met with the Department of Science, Technology and Innovations at one of our consultative meetings, and we got to realize how seriously disenfranchised are we in terms of understanding what the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation is doing. And by that, we took that opportunity to say, let us come together as the two departments and see if we cannot collaborate, because empowering persons with disabilities through a technology is very important, because most of the persons with disabilities rely heavily on technology. Where I am, I'm thriving in my work because of technology.
I may have gone to school using manual braille writers and everything because of at that if we were to be comparing. So what I'm saying is technology is something that should be embraced, and the departments, coming back to what the minister was saying in terms of the mantra of the department, we are wanting to feature into that mantra because as the Department of Women, Persons with Disabilities, we want to see that technology becomes an instrument of empowerment, an instrument of inclusion, an instrument of mainstreaming in terms of the white paper on the rights of persons with disabilities, so that we can give this advantage and opportunities opening up to persons with disabilities countrywide. Thanks.
Maybe just a quick follow-up. Are we seeing a lot of people with disabilities participating? I know our next speaker will address this, but I want to know from the department's perspective, having looked at gaps, having monitored the activity of departments, are we seeing trends where there is an increase? Should there be more awareness to increase specifically people with disabilities in participating, not only being recipients, but participating and leading the charge in solving problems? So what are the trends that we are seeing in that space?
Yeah, I think we are going the right direction in terms of participation by persons with disabilities. If we were to really be playing our role in terms of removing barriers to access and participation, because the platform itself where persons with disabilities are given opportunities should not be made inaccessible. So what I'm trying to say is, as a department, we coordinate and we make sure that these platforms are opened up equally for all people, including persons with disabilities. So if we assess and realize that this platform is not accessible and it does not provide opportunities for persons with disabilities to participate, we always challenge that. And that is the reason we wanted to partner with the Department of Science, Technology and Innovations and other departments. For example, institutions that we are partnering with now. We are partnering with Arch Holdings. It is a department, sorry, an institution that is providing a platform for job seeking and employment opportunities for persons who are young. And we are insisting that persons with disabilities must be included in that project, and that the platform itself must be able to be giving persons with disabilities access sufficient enough for them to interact and interface with the platform. So what we are saying is the people, if they are involved and if they are made to participate, they will give us what we want as the departments of government. We can't sit here and say we want to do things for them. We must be able to partner with them to do things for themselves. And we are quite grateful and happy that we have an innovator like Jabu Blose, who came up with Viracom, which is going to empower people with disabilities who are deaf, interacting with SAPs, so that from the get-go, when they enter the charge office, what do they call this these days? Correction, what? No, I'm used to that old name, charge office. I know that there's a new name now, where they will be interacting with officials there for their dockets to be well written using that technology. So that is what we want. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, that was quite extensive. It's also really encouraging to hear that departments are more and more starting to work together and collaborate with each other. I think we're going to move forward quite nicely in unison if we see more of that. And of course, we've had a beautiful introduction there to Mr. Jabulani Blose. I'm going into now innovators, The three next speakers are innovators who have been funded under the grassroots program. And for all three of them, there will be an elevator pitch, 30-second pitch, and then I will ask the question, but we must elevator pitch first. So, Mr. Blose from the company name is Viacom, let's have that elevator pitch.
Thank you very much, Program Director, for awarding me this opportunity. As introduced, my name is Jabulani Blose. I'm a South African Sign Language user. I represent Viacom and application, yes, for sign language, or rather South African Sign Language. VRI in short. The purpose of it is to also have interpreters online. It's a visual app where it's a visual app where you are in the, you can use it in the comfort of your home. We can communicate while you are at home, where a deaf person is elsewhere and the interpreter is in the comfort of their home. We are avoiding the cost and the time delays. When you need a South African Sign Language, like at this very moment, VRI will be there to assist you. Because now you will start tapping on the app, then the South African Sign Language interpreter will appear on the app, where it will make communication very easy for both parties, the deaf and the hearing. It's very, very much easy to use. It's a local development app. And
That's incredible. And I think you can also, or are we going on? I want to ask another question. I want to ask, what are some of the challenges as well that he's faced as an innovator? And what should be done to sort of assist in limiting those challenges?
thank you for that question. Innovative technology. When you introduce innovative technology, yes, you meet challenges. It's like skepticism. So that's the issue that we met. I met while coming up with this. So I was skeptical in a way. Again, it was a challenge. I met challenges because the app took time to be adopted. Again, it was not active in the public service. Oh, it was just a demo when it started. So you'd receive the message, but the government couldn't approve on the application. Why? Because in the interpreter clarity. Okay, because we, supply initiative at the same time. Again, yes, we had challenges, but at the end, we came through. But the most challenging part was skepticism and the adoption of the application. And PFMA. So those were the main issues that we had. Those were the most critical challenges that we came across. But at the end of the day, we managed to reach our goal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So skepticism and adoption are some of the challenges that he faced as an innovator with a disability. I'm going to move on to Mr. Kalo from Cello. That elevator pitch, sir.
Hello. My name is Maketele Kalo, and I'm very honored to be here, to be given this opportunity. So I'm an actuarial specialist by training, and yeah, when I used to work in Cape Town, I'd go home, and one day I was visiting my school. I wanted to contribute, but it was somehow difficult. And that was one of the sparks for what Cello is, because I wasn't able to donate to my school. I needed to find a solution for it. So Cello basically transforms how schools raise money by making it digital, transparent, and community-driven. With over 60% of our schools very much underserved, this is a very much needed solution. And it also allocates some of the responsibility to the community and not just government. With Cello, we don't just help schools raise funding, we help them identify what to raise those fundings for. We have a diagnostic tool that helps them, assess the right points and the right issues to raise funding for first. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kalo. I'm going to do a quick follow-up. What do you need to scale?
The easiest answer to this is money.
Always.
But we have a business model that we trust. So we just believe right now that with access, that will give fruits to money that's going to help us grow. So access in the sense of currently we've been dealing with schools on an individual basis. We've worked with 40 schools. With an improvement rate of 38% pass rate in all those schools. And we want to expand to more schools, and we want to deal from a high level, maybe with district directors for those schools, because then we can onboard a lot more schools at one go. So that level of access is what we need more than anything.
Access to district directors. I think the government officials heard you, and you must attack them so that you can get that scale that you're looking for. Thank you so much, Mr. Kalo. I'm going to move on to our last speaker, the very young, very dynamic Mphahlele Buhlale. Your elevator pitch, ma'am.
Hi, guys. Before I can actually start with, my pitching, I want to go back to the minister's speech where he mentioned Hore, proudly mama's boy, right? We're going to do this together, right? Baringwanaga. Akasi jwelele ka ore o rata chama. Gape yoe kingwana. Yoe. Okay, so Minister, with the song that I chose, that was just to show that Renarvana Babumma. Limpopo, we are known for Rubabana Babumma. And Relimbana Babumma.
Just get closer to your mic, Buhlale.
Okay, all right. Relimbana Babumma. Ripita Banaba Movu. Kibonore Banaba UL Batrailo we Spicer. Because, the youth, but they are the Ghetto University. So now, as Banaba Bamuvu, Rille Rona, Rille Mo Lohonu, Renyaka Robonchawari, Limpopo, Rille Banaba Muvu, Resura Majoko Abrali. It's very fair like I would Ministerial afofa. Resurima Joko Abral. If ela refloka munyetla. Munyetla joang. If Ranizwalo I can ask or the students that we're having, how many know of TIA? According to the way Babembai Chalosa, Kimanga grilling any idea of what TIA is and what grassroots innovation agency is about. You can just raise your hand. I won't ask too much information? No one? You see what I'm talking about, Minister? Okay, one? Okay. So, ibon shawar garga bana ba leng mo awareness. Ki monyetla o ro hlokang. A re tshwane le bomma gore na le bo ragolo ba rena ba gale ba ile gore they were not having qualifications. Ba re bana ba mo burenya go hiriwa. Rena a re nyake go hiri, a re nyake go hiriwa ka go hloka di qualifications. Ke sa buisa ke re sere ba kwa bogale. We are very innovative. We need awareness within our schools. Not only awareness, we also need to make sure that when we are given opportunities like Kuba, part of the grassroots innovation, when we're given the funds to implement our ideas and innovations, we need somebody who will guide us, mentors, people who have been working on that journey before. We also need suppliers, because when we are young, we are getting into the business sector, we do not know anything about that. We need suppliers that are going to be providing us with quality materials that we need to make sure that the ideas that we implement or the innovations that we implement are of good use and solutions to problems that we have in South Africa. With that being said, my name is Mphahlele Bohlale. I am an inventor of a lighting earpiece. I'm also an innovator, a grassroots innovator under the GIP, which is Grassroots Innovation Agency program under TIA. Besides that, I am a student at a private institution. I'm studying IT and business systems. Now, with my idea, going back to what she asked me to do here, what my idea is about eradicating the chances of human trafficking, gender-based violence, and rape. It has been trending, both nationally and internationally. I've been recognized by the likes of Power FM, SABC, BBC from the UK as well. But because of lack of the knowledge and mentors of how to get real suppliers, I have the funding, but I'm still in the process of developing the idea. So I'm saying this because I want to also raise awareness to my peers or my younger brothers and sisters that as innovators, it does not matter what matters is what you offer, what you do, what you decide to do with what you have. I'm from a rural area in Ramphahlele, just a few kilometers away from here. But I was very recognized by people of the caliber of Miss Mlambo Nguga, the former deputy president of South Africa. When I went into those kind of rooms, I did not have much, but I had passion. I had hope that one day I will change the world. And Limpopo has the ability and the potential to do so, because Rebana Babumma.
Well, I did let Bohlale go on for a little bit longer because I have a bias towards her because she's a young woman. Bohlale, I really need you to tell us what your device is.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So My idea, my project is about eradicating the chances of human trafficking, gender-based violence, and crime. So how it works is when the victim is being victimized, what they do, it works more like an earring. It's a wearable device. So it can work as an earring, it can work as a watch, it can work as a jersey. But for the first prototype, we've decided to go with an earring because we've realized that when we were doing research on victims of rape, human trafficking, most of them are between the ages of 9 to 25. So we've decided that most of them, since they still in school, they like to wear earrings, right? And most of them are women as well. So it was one thing that I thought it would be of an advantage to women. So what it does when they're being victimized is they'll press the earring, or it will check their temperature. When somebody is in danger, most of the times the heart rate rises. So it will capture that and then automatically expose a nano camera on the earring and then capture the face of the perpetrator. After capturing the face of the perpetrator, it also records videos just to make sure that the information is valid, because most of the times when you go to the police, they tell you, it's already picture, you know, our robber or something. You get what I'm on? So it just tries to build up on the information that's there, that this person is truly being victimized. It will send it to connected devices. It be your family members, but the most important officials that it will automatically send it to is the police and doctors, if in case you need an emergency help.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Buhlalo. I was out of time 19 minutes ago. But I'm going to do just this one thing. The interpreter for Upojabo, you'll help me and you'll ask him while I go through everyone else. By the time I get to you, you will have the response for me. But I just want everyone to give me their biggest takeaway where innovation, entrepreneurship for youth, women, people living with disabilities is concerned. I need a headline, which means it's a sentence, it's a statement that everybody can go home with as a takeaway. I'll start with you, Dr. Musia.
Headline. So I think what is coming through to mind is that young people must find opportunities at the center where there is intersection of human development, our needs as human beings, where there is also science and technology. If we find ourselves right in there, we will find opportunities, we will create SMMEs, we will create products, we will address inclusivity and achieve a socially just society. Just by way of technology, we need to get to a socially just, fair and equitable society.
Thank you. Dr. Anita?
Thank you. I think my message is that there is government to support you in your development of your ideas into market products. Government sometimes is your first and only funder. So there is opportunities available in the public sector space for you to take up. Please do. Thanks.
The government is our angel investor, ne? Mr. Nechituni?
Yeah, I think what I take away is that it is amazing how the world is quickly evolving in terms of innovation when we look at the young people that are doing things, making things to happen. And it is incumbent on government, I challenge you, Minister, to fully support the youth, particularly youth with disabilities, to be empowered to continue doing what they are doing in terms of innovation and science. Science is quite broad, as you aptly defined it. And if we see people with disabilities entering the terrain, we must really support them. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll have Jabu.
Thank you. My advice is people with disabilities, yes, have challenges, have problems. Please. Give them a lens. Please remember, the people with disabilities have problems, and interpreter needs clarity. Face problems socially and are overlooked. So you must give people with disabilities opportunities and positions for them to also show their potential. Now, the department needs to champion those solutions. I think if you give much support, everything will be accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kalo?
I think what stands out for me most today is collaboration. So collaboration in the sense, so there is technology that can be developed, but for that technology to really be effective, we still need, human on the ground working together to use that technology to achieve the purpose that is aiming to. And also here, as you can see, the main message is that we have a youth who is energetic and has ideas, and we have a government who mostly is elders, who have resources and decision making, and we recognize that, and we see that with collaboration, even on that, supporting each other, then we can achieve a lot. Thank you.
Collaboration across age, across generations. I like that. Buhlale? Headline.
Okay, for me, thank you. For me, what I've taken from the conversation today is the growth of South Africa really depends on our innovations and inventions. And as the youth, it is upon us to make sure that we use what we have with where we are from, with who we are, to make sure that we help build the nation of South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, another very big round of applause for my panelists for the last time. I hope the young lady was answered, and I hope all of you have been answered. And I also just want us to clap for Mr. Jabu. Let's clap again for Mr. Jabu. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tuli Ngiyabonga.
Thank you so much, Sis Tuli and the panelists. And maybe the other thing we should just say at this stage is to just acknowledge and commend the young people who are here for their patience and discipline that they have been here since the morning, and it is very important that I think we should just, you know, express our gratitude for their patience and their discipline that they have shown, you know. We really appreciate that. We are about to wrap up the program now. Yes. We are about to wrap up the program. I will now give this opportunity. I also just want Usisbusi to help me to just get somebody who's going to just remind us how we are going to do the lunch. After we've had the vote of thanks, we are just going to get somebody who's going to announce to us how we are going to do the lunch. And I want to then request the executive mayor, Ndate Ok, Kindati, yeah, because I see another name, Ndate, to just come and Atlore Lebo.
Yeah, I come back as the acting executive mayor of the city of Polokwane to thank the honorable minister once again for his moving presentation. You know, Professor Nzimande, I remember the last time I saw you in person, we were somewhere in Bloemfontein at a SASCO conference when you were still SG of the South African Communist Party. You moved me that day and you still moved me today when you presented your speech to all of us here. I want to start by thanking you for the wisdom that you have for remaining the wisdom of our country and for leading our country in the best way you can in ensuring that you continue touching the lives of the people of South Africa, serving us with pride and dignity. We honor you, Honorable Minister. We appreciate you. Armetele matso. Program Director, let me also thank you for directing this program. Program directors or facilitators, all of you, we thank you for the good work that you have done. The safety officer of the University of Limpopo, thank you for telling us how to escape in case something happens. But we are glad that nothing happened. We only learned and learned and learned, and we are going back home with something in our minds, a food for thought. We want to thank the Vice Chancellor of the University of Limpopo for allowing us to use this venue. We want to thank the MEC for representing the Premier of Limpopo, MEC Medi Eketse Mashego. We thank all the panelists, the Deputy Vice Chancellors here present, we want to thank all the delegates. This event could have not been what it has been if it wasn't of you. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? Honorable Minister, I am a ward councillor from just across the street, the village across the street. I'm the ward councillor there. And sitting here, I'm wondering if an opportunity like this can be afforded to a ward like a village like Mamutintani, a village like Ramolepo, Lastehuop, where this students or learners rather from St. Bede's secondary school comes from. If this kind of initiatives could really target them at their places of residence, if we could have ward-based programs of this nature, Honorable Minister, to give access. I heard the panelists talking about access and also the delegates deliberating on access. Because if we put it somewhere where we think is central, we know the university remains an integral part of societal development, but we are saying let's deliberately have this program go into the wards. With these few words, I have thanked everyone, and I will continue to say, Legatong la Masipala Polokwane, where we are, Honorable Minister, we are on the soil of the Mamabolo Traditional Council, which I form part of. Bare kere ya lo wena minister ra de kolobe tša beatadi kere de kolobe tša beatadi bja mamorla maepa de gore maja makgereta phoofolo tša mesela ba ga Mamabolo a solwana sa mmatala di sekgopa banna matolo. Siyabonga, Honorable Minister. If you think of donating another computer lab, that mobile computer lab or container computer lab, go to St. Beats, go to Mama Budusha. Comrade Masipala spoke about Motolo Primary School. Go there and also donate that. We are pleading with you, Honorable Minister, and giving you this challenge that before the end of your term, just come back to Polokwane and deliver just one. We thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Pula!
Okay. No, really, so, Minister, MEC, and other dignitaries, that officially closes. That vote of thanks officially closes. Now, there are always other details we must sort out. You are kindly requested, Minister, and the dignitaries there, that for the team, that you, before you leave the hall, that you just line up here for a group photo, right? That is the one thing. And in terms of lunch, so where you had breakfast this morning is your lunch venue, right? And the dignitaries are going to be ushered to where they are going to have lunch. The people who usher them would know that. But the lunch for the rest of us is ready. And I'm told if you have lost your GPS, you must just follow the banners that take you back to where you had this thing this morning. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, dignitaries. That closes the official. Thanks.
Students, allow the minister to. Students, remain seated. Remain seated. Allow the Honorable Minister to leave the hall before you leave and queue for your food.